conclude up from Charleston Southern. Very proud of our team. Thought we focused well in the game. A lot of questions y'all asked last week. How do you keep your team motivated? How do you keep them focused? I think they did that. I think they went out and practiced well during the week last week and prepared for that game and played well in that game and kept focused in the game. I was very happy the way we started it, where we got. I mean, we were heavy favorite. We all knew it, but we were able to go out and execute like that. Played very well. And then even when the youngsters got into the game, I think they played well, kept executing the game, and the upperclassmen on the sideline stayed in the game and kept them motivated and were helping them and making adjustments. And was very pleased with a lot of things we did in the football game. And of course, there's always things we can get better on. We'll keep improving on the little things and what we do. And but was very pleased with how we approached the game, played the game, and got our second victory. All right.
Coach, tell us the difference that a year makes in terms of how you approach this game compared to last year.
Well, I mean, you know more your team. See, last year being the second game we played, I mean, it was still a very interesting thing going on the road, big game on the road, and we know our players better. I think they know us better. They know our scheme better. We know what they can do in our scheme better. So hopefully we'll be able to coach them better, and we'll be able to. Hopefully we've gotten better as a football team throughout that time, which I think we did as the year went on last year, and hopefully we'll be better early this year. And and a great opportunity. And as I jokingly say, as all the questions and everything y'all, we could say that you could ask the questions, write your own answers, and I could walk out there and go watch film. We could get this over with and get going, because you know the kind of answers. But it is. I mean, it's what we want to do and play. But hopefully our team is grown and we've gotten better.
The ACC's had mixed results against BCS opposition so far this year. I think it's 2-3 or something.
I wasn't okay.
Well, and obviously.
No, I mean I wasn't. I wasn't aware of that.
It's going to be enormous attention on this ball
Yeah.
game, and can you talk about? And I realize that comparing conferences is probably not something coaches are overly interested in, but just talk about the importance of it in that sense.
Well, I mean, I think every conference, just like when you say a Florida team plays a Georgia team in high school football. See, I told you Florida was better than Georgia, or Georgia was better than Florida, or what? You get that all the time. But I think you got to remember it's each individual team. That's the thing you got to remember. Conferences are that they're a group of teams, but everybody has their pride. From Big 12 wants to win it for their pride, and the ACC wants to win it for their pride. So I mean, there is some bragging rights there, but it still comes down to the two teams that are playing it.
Coach, can you reflect on the magnitude of this game? This is your second year as coach, but this game is going to pretty much set the tone for the rest of the season. Because say you guys do beat Oklahoma, that's going to put you guys on a different level.
Well, I mean, I think if we're successful, there is a lot of good things that can happen to you. And if you're not, it doesn't necessarily mean everything is going. I don't think it's a one-game season. I don't like putting my eggs in one basket, and I don't believe in it. I don't believe whether you win that game or lose that game. We still have a bunch of other conference games to play. We have to go the very next week to Clemson. We have to play our whole conference schedule. We have to play Florida at the end. Whatever we're into. I mean, is it? We understand the magnitude of the game? Yes. Do we understand it's a big game? Yes. Can it? If you're successful in the game, does it set a stage and put you in a great position? Yes. We understand that, and we're going to play it to the best of our abilities and prepare the best we can play. But I don't believe in putting all eggs in one basket. But and by saying that, I'm not saying I'm downgrading the game, but you got to play them one at a time.
Coach, you obviously knew this was a big game when it was on the schedule. The student tickets sold out in 17 minutes. Kind of talk about that. What this hype means for this program, for this university.
Well, I think the hype you got to be careful of is for the team. We have to go play the game. We can't concern ourselves with hype. We have to concern ourselves with the now, preparing, playing. The atmosphere will be great. That's why you come here. That's one of the big things you like about playing at Florida State, is being able to play in games like this and be able to adjust and adapt to these situations and atmospheres, environments, and things you want to do. Because like I said, when you're a child and you're in the backyard and you're dreaming of making a play in a big game, that's what you're here. So what you have to do is embrace the moment, prepare for the moment, and have fun in it.
Is there going to be anything different about this practice week as opposed to a Charleston Southern week?
Not one thing. Not one thing. I mean, we'll practice the same schedule, same things we do, and we'll have a plan out. We need to do this on Monday, this on Tuesday, this on Thursday. I mean, on Wednesday and Thursday, and get right and prepare for the game. Same way.
What are Halstead's and Reed's status?
Halstead's will be day to day. I mean, I don't know. I mean, and Reed, I think he'll be fine. I mean, he still has a little bit of swelling in his ankle, but not very much, I don't think. I may keep him a day or so, but he seems to be pretty good. But I'm not the doctor. I mean, we'll have to go day by that. But I think he's fine.
Anybody else that's dinged?
No, Nick didn't play in the game the other day. Nick Moody, and I think a day or two he just twins the quad there one day, and I think he should be okay. That's the plan anyway.
What could be the?
Talk about the role the fans can play, considering Oklahoma tries to run such a high tempo offense.
I think it is. Anytime you're at home, I mean, the atmosphere, environment, the noise factor, that's huge. That's huge on the road, for a team to have to deal with. And the atmosphere and environment, the tier, I think is, it can be just one of the best. And there's been some, like I said last year when we played Florida, that atmosphere and environment like that was good, and I think it affected the other team. And I think it's things that you need to do to help our team. I think that's all part of being able to play in your own stadium and having success.
You think it would be difficult to manage the guys? Obviously, there's a lot of excitement around this, and these are kids. I mean, do you think because of the magnitude of this game this week, do you think there'll be more excitement with those guys, more enthusiasm?
Oh, I'm sure there will be, but they got to understand, like I told them today, you don't play the game Monday, you don't play it Tuesday, you don't play it Wednesday. You can be up to play them too quick, and that's something as coaches we have to remind them, and they have to deal with, and you have to go through it. And you have to be able to handle that part of it, because you get emotionally high too much during the week, you're drained by the end of the week, and you got to be able to handle those circumstances. So we'll remind them, and the big thing we're trying to, again, is live in the now, prepare what's today's preparation, what's tomorrow's preparation, and so on.
Jimbo, can you talk about, Greg Reed talked in the preseason about how last season he grew and kind of matured from some of the struggles early in the year. Just talk about how you saw his development.
Well, I think it goes back to, winning results and understanding how to get results. And I think that's in life. I mean, from what your job you do to the job anybody does that, we go in and say, we're going to do this, this, and this, and all of a sudden, it's a little harder than I thought. I mean, I got to go back and dot my I's, cross my T's, put in a lot of work, put in a lot of preparation, and understand that sometimes just God-given ability doesn't always make me the best out there. But if I have God-given ability and I apply it with work ethic, intelligent decisions, and getting myself prepared, that I can go be successful. And I think that's what you saw him do as the year went on. And that's a sign of a good football player, of understanding that he needed some work or needed things done, and all football players do. And he got better. And it was very pleasing to see.
Were you happy with the way that Greg and Telvin kind of handled themselves this week, knowing they weren't going to play?
Yes, I did. They practiced very hard, did what they had to do. Were on the sideline, wanted them to feel what it was like not to be in the game with their teammates, and I think they felt that. But also, they were still in the game and mentally helped the guys that were out there playing.
Greg's not starting on the depth chart for right now. Is that just kind of an extension of last week to kind of get him back into the flow?
Well, we'll see. We'll figure that out during the week. Kerwin had to fill something out.
So your young receivers, Coach, are really showing a lot.
I'm sorry?
Your young receivers.
Yes.
Have been very productive through the first two ball games. Can you talk about that in relationship to playing time as you go into a game like you got Saturday?
Well, I mean, you have to get, those guys are explosive. They make plays, they can change the game, they can run the ball, they block, they can catch it down the field, they can catch it underneath. There's a lot of things, and I've always said our young group I really like. And, you got to get them at bats. You got to let them swing that bat a little bit, see if they can hit some home runs or get some hits, and they deserve that right. And we feel very comfortable with our rotation when we rotate guys in and out of putting them in the game and don't feel uncomfortable at all getting them the ball.
There are a lot of big plays that those kids had on Saturday.
Yeah.
Did any in particular stand out to you?
Christian Green, explosion on the sideline. It was good to see him get that confidence. I think that's all he needs is confidence. He's going to be an outstanding player. Rashad's on the little screen coming across. Greg Dent on a couple bubbles that just caught it and hit it down across there. Scooter Hagen's on third down coming inside, making catches. Kenny Shaw running good routes coming inside. All those guys were very pleasing. Rashad, Christian, those guys had some juice with it, and were able to hit those big plays. And that's what I say all the time. When you want to be a great offense, you can say all the time, you go back and people say, are you a precision throwing team? Are you a deep throwing team? How many deep balls did the 49ers throw when Joe Montana? It was on time, hitting those guys, Jerry Rice, John, in holes, and they were making runs, and they'd throw some deep, but they'd turn the 5-yard gain into 20, 25, 30, being able to run with the football afterwards and do those kind of things. And then all of a sudden, boom, you throw a deep ball and have their guys. There's a lot of ways to do that. And yak yards after catch and after contact and things that go on are huge when you're very athletic. And Devontae Freeman had a nice one, a little flare route in the side. Remember, got a little flare, made a guy miss, made about 20. There was a guy around here that, remember when some other guy won a Heisman, he'd throw a lot of flares out there, and all of a sudden one of them 3-yard gains would turn into about 30 or 20, and all of a sudden it'd be an 80-yard gain. How many flares of work done turn into touchdowns and big plays? And the explosive plays in space by players, that's the key to the drill. People say throw it deep. Well, when they get in cover 2 and cover 3 and they get them guys way back there, hard to throw it over their head. And those guys got to take that ball and run with it, and that's what a lot of these young guys are able to do.
What does Oklahoma's offense do best?
Execute. I really mean they have a good feel for what they do. They run it at a high tempo, and I think they execute very well. They keep a good balance of run and pass, mix the ball around, and they do a really good job executing their offense, in my opinion.
What type of challenge does the Landry Jones, the Ryan Broyles connection? What
And then Steele, the other guy Steele's in the tight end. They got other guys now. You get caught up on those two. They get their numbers. They're going to get theirs. But they make plays when they're covered. They make the great plays. Guys got him covered. They throw it up, makes a great catch, or he throws a back shoulder throw, or throws a laser in. They make the plays that you think when you got them stopped that you do, which great players do, and then they execute at a high level. And then that's what makes them a good team.
We have time for a couple more questions. There's a couple of people on the conference call. Heather, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, Heather.
Jimbo, what specifically does EJ need to do more of or better now that the competition is going to take a significant jump?
Nothing as far as his preparation. Just keep playing the same way and understand to go play the game, because it's the same. The team he plays against every day in practice, the defense he plays against every day in practice, athletic, big, has a great scheme. Just pretend like it's that, and understand that he's got to prepare every week, get ready every week, and then have confidence in himself to make decisions and go play, which I think he's doing very well right now. But the secret to this whole thing to me is there is no secret. Go do what you know and play the game, and don't look too much into it.
Heather, you have another question?
We've talked before about how much better you think the team has been since this time a year ago when you played Oklahoma. Where specifically do you think you guys have made the most improvement?
I think understanding to live in the now and how we prepare. I really do, and understanding not just whether it's offense, defense, but not in just any one area as far as that goes, but understanding how to approach games and how to get their mind in perspective to how to go about a week's work of practice, how to go into a game on Friday evening into Saturday, and then be able to perform in it, and then to process it, win, lose, or draw, and move on to the next game afterwards. I think the maturity level from that thing is the biggest difference in our football team.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jonathan, are you on from ESPN? All right.
Coach, you said before the year that because Clint hadn't played you, you weren't quite sure what you had at the back and quarterback position. Have you seen enough in these last 2 games to him have your full confidence if he has to play this stuff?
Yeah, I felt confident that he knows what to do. He's went in, he performed well. He had much more he could do in these last 2 games and do it. He made a few mistakes here and there, which sometimes you don't see. Like I say, he got a touchdown run and a minus. I told him this one. Should have read the other side of the field and he had a throw. That happens, but that's why I say sometimes we all glorify him. We got a touchdown run, but see, I'm not happy. And sometimes y'all think something's wrong and nothing is addressing. But no, I'm very pleased with his progress and knowledge of our offense. I think he's played well and he's done everything that's been asked of him so far, and he's prepared well and he's been practicing well.
Time for last question.
James Wilder.
We'll get to it.
The running game, and like Brent asked, James had an impact in the second half. He also made some changes in the second half. Talk about the running game and how you feel about the running game.
We're getting better at it, and it's a work in progress, and we got to get better as we did. And they brought some safeties down in there, but still you have to break runs. You still have to get those guys. We have to dig them out and block them with receivers, and got to make a guy miss. Sometimes it's not always a block. Sometimes like I said, guys got to make a guy miss. Got to hit some things, and we'll get better at it. And we're going to continue. We're always going to continue to have balance and run football, no matter what. And I was very pleased with the way James ran. He had good runs, good keys. Did a nice job as far as I thought he ran it. The whole time. I really did.
Was that you were talking about possibly redshirting? If I take it that
we were, but when he came out of camp, we had to judge freshmen when they came out of camp, and we had to judge them from the point was some of them guys got over. They went through some things in camp that freshmen aren't used to, and it's overwhelming. It kind of makes, as I say, it makes you slow down. You know what I mean? You lose some confidence, and all of a sudden he gained that second wind, and his body and the way he was changing and having that athleticism and. Just looking at it, and as they keep getting him ready, because I think later in the year we're going to really need him to be a great special teams guy, and I think we'll need that body, and and his ability as the year goes on, I really do.
Gene?
Go ahead, Gene.
Last question.
Thank you, Coach. Coach, in a game with your athletes are so evenly matched up when you've got two high-profile teams, how big could special teams play in a game of this?
I think it's huge. I mean, you know, to give you an example, and we talked about offense and defense, we're so bright. And the opponent, if I'm not mistaken, I got the stat up there, I looked at it, they've had 25 touches. 21 of the 25 have started inside their own 25-yard line. 19 are inside their own 20. That don't count once back inside the 5, 10, the 15, 10, and 5. So, I mean, that field position more, the ability to kick, the ability to kick field goals, to punt, to return, to get, for every 20-yard return, that's 2 first downs the offense doesn't have to make. And for every punt that we pin them down inside the 20, it's a 10% chance that you score on an 80-yard drive, and you don't ever do 2. And, you find ways to do that, and that has as much success on anything we're doing. And I think special teams is the thing we don't talk about that is, and they have great return. Broyles is a great returner. They kick, and they have great special teams too. So special teams will be a huge factor in this football game.
All right, thanks, sir.